Hello there, reason users, PoohBear here, and welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to be talking about the Stream Deck Mobile. I'm also going to be touching about Touch Portal. These devices have always intrigued me, but the price tag at 230 quid is not enough of an intrigue for me to actually go and dive in. I wouldn't buy anything small, so it would have been something larger which would interest me. But as I say, at that price, I wasn't sure if I'd actually use it or utilize it enough. Now, the fact that we got this mobile version, and obviously with Touch Portal, they can actually work on the phone, or more importantly, I've got a spare tablet. So I thought I'd get my tablet out. I thought I've got a spare tablet. I happen to have a tablet purely for doing my solar panel and my battery and my electric cars and things like that, and my heat pumps. And that's all I bought that tablet purely to do. And it's not even a very, very powerful one. It's a really, really basic one, because I don't get on with mobile phones and tablets. I'm a big PC person, and I've got myself my two big 55-inch 4K monitors, and that's how I rock. You know, I don't like these little screens at all. But I thought, hey, as I've just done my Shuttle Pro and I've just done my FCB, I thought this would be a good exercise. And the exercise I decided to do was nothing, well, I'm going to say it's quite simple, but it's not really. I wanted to be able to go into something like Europa, which I've actually done before. And what I wanted to be able to do is say, I'm going to copy this oscillator and I'm going to paste it onto this oscillator. And I also wanted to have the option where I can actually morph between the two. And that's really what I wanted to do. Very quickly, the cost of the Stream Deck Mobile, you can rent it monthly for $2.99, $24.99 for the year, or you can buy it lifetime for £49. And for the Touch Portal, it's $12.99 or 13 quid. And obviously both of them have add-ons you can purchase as well. I think that's how they can actually make up their money. Most of the plugins I've noticed for both of them, actually, you can get a lot of free plugins, and a lot of the plugins I've seen for purchase on here, especially the internal ones, are really, really cheap. I mean, they're like a pound something for this and a pound something for that. Let's just quickly move on and actually have a look at the devices themselves. So this is like the first screen, I think, the default for the Stream Deck, and obviously you can have some navigation pages. Obviously, because the trial is only limited to 6 buttons, so don't let that get you put off. Within an hour and a half, I actually got this up and running exactly how I wanted to have it actually up and running. As you can see here, when I'm actually tapping these buttons, I'm actually controlling my APC over here. So in control mode, that's obviously when I can do stuff in the rack. That's my sequencer mode. And this is my trans or my morphing mode. Now, obviously, go a little bit further. This will allow me to sort of copy an oscillator, and I can paste an oscillator if I wish. And I've got another button over here, so I'm using another app to actually change the screens. Here I can actually do the morphic side or the trans, and the final one, this is actually to do with the actual morphing side of things. I know they're not flash buttons, but this allows me obviously to push up or push down. This is like equivalent of a fade or a knob, and this is how I've actually done it for the moment. I think I can come up with something a little bit fancier. As I say, I've done this in an hour and a half, never used the application, so I was really happy I'd actually got this far with this particular application. Things I like about this app, as I said, it was very quick and speedy to get things working. I have spent like another hour trying to get Midi fed back into it, because you're meant to be able to do it. I haven't been able to do that, but that just could be me. As I say, I don't know the application that well, and it's probably just a simple setting. One of the things I like about this is, as soon as I touch a key, it actually activates. And the reason I'm pointing that out is because it's absolutely the opposite way around with Touch Portal. But I think there's a way I can actually get it to work, because I've been experimenting doing something a different way. It's just the way the application worked. It came when you're actually building the pages. The first tab is called on pressed, so I naturally assumed that's where I'm going to do most of my work. There's an event page and an on hold page. I've got a feeling I'm going to end up using the on hold page more. So if we come over here, I've got this test page. Well, before we go into the test page and that, this is like a basic screen. In fact, I think this was like a default screen it comes with, but it was to do with multimedia stuff. So I think it's to do with one of the multimedia players. I've obviously converted it so I can obviously start and stop the actual transport in Reason itself. Obviously, you can do record. I think that's an alternate take. I think that's what I used that for. And there, that will actually turn looping on and off, and we can jump to the left and right markers and things like that. So I quickly got that running. Then that really didn't take any time at all. The MIDI side of things, I probably took about 5 hours. An hour of that was me hitting my head against the wall with their actual application, because all their help files, all the videos I saw, everything else, is because I knew I had to install a plugin. I downloaded the plugin and they all said, hey, you click on this wrench, install plugin. Look at all the videos in the help files. Click on the wrench, click on the wrench. I did not have on the wrench on my application, so I thought, oh, maybe it didn't recognise that I'd actually purchased it and it hasn't fed it back to the PC. So obviously rebooting my PC, reinstall the applications. No wrench, no wrench. And it turned out it was a totally different icon. That is a totally different icon from the wrench, from the pictures. And I will just bring it up just in case you fall into the same trap. It sounds stupid, but here we go. Here's this particular screen, and it's this icon here you now have to click on. So all the other ones had this little wrench icon and had a little plug icon, but in here now we can click on that and there's an import plugin. It just made me pull my hair out. And this is really how we sort of program this up. And they're very similar in the way you can program these things up. Here is the Stream Deck one. So if I was to click on one of these, you can see what kind of button is it, the MIDI I'm sending in and out, and down here, obviously, I'll talk about my MIDI ports and what's going on. Without a doubt, Stream Deck is very, very simple. These aren't quite as simple. If I was to actually go into, say, to my MIDI side, which we haven't looked at yet, so here's this screen here on the touch portal where we can do so much more with it. The downside of this side of things, as I might have mentioned, if I hold this button, nothing happens until I let go, and then it actually will go and do something. So this is like, say, on pressed. So if I was to click one of these buttons here, you can see it says on press is the first event rather than on hold. I found on hold is the one I really want to use. And on press, I think personally should be called on release. But hey, I'm getting myself a little bit sidetracked. So the great thing about this is obviously we've got ourselves a sound up. There's nothing stopping me now going to choose a different sound, say that one. Okay, so I rather like that, so I'm going to copy oscillators 2 and 3 from here. Then let's go back to the previous patch. The only thing I'm going to do in this previous patch is actually turn the oscillators on. Now I highlight one, you can see they're just sine waves at the moment. And in fact, let's just listen to one only. And now I've got a choice here. I can use like these buttons. This is how I've done it. And by holding it down, it's going through them. It's like scrolling. There, that's quite a good one, so I'm going to leave that there. Let's choose oscillator number 3. And this time on oscillator number 3, I'm actually going to use this one here. And I might say, hey, I might use that. So let's bring all the oscillators together and we've now got ourselves a new sound. Brilliant. So there we go. So it actually does work. Now, what I've actually done, as you can actually see, as I'm actually doing things here, I've actually got it reflecting back onto my APC. So even though I can switch modes. So the great thing, again, I'm not trying to beef up Touch Portal here, but you know, the nice thing is I've now got writing on here. So it's, in a way, what I want to do, I want to sort of take part of this section out and I want to actually embed that screen in there, because I've got things like, I can see it now saying, hey, I'm going to auto start my loop. So if a loop's not running, in fact, let's bring up the sequencer here at this stage. So if the loop isn't running, I haven't got anything set, I can come along here and say, hey, by hitting that button, it's going to start the loop. And obviously I can jump around different loops. And at the moment, we're on what I refer to as soft loop. So if I was to come back here, it'll finish the loop before it comes back. In fact, let's turn looping on, because I didn't have looping turned on there, so I need to go and capture it. Thank you very much. There we go. And now it's going to jump back to there. Or we can have hard looping, where it's always going to jump about. Bomb, 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 bomb. We've got other things, obviously, we need to have set as well. So I should be able to stop it from going. Yes, let's stop that. If I come here and just do something simple, this is obviously all work in progress, so it's not necessarily going to work. So if I tap that and then tap let's tap number 8, so I know exactly where I am. I've now just saved that particular loop there. I have to tap that to turn it off, so let's start again. I'm going to go there, it's loop number 1. Now if I go to that one there, you see it's remembered it. So that's how easy we can actually set loops up. And obviously I've got the basic, reset the auto override, tap the tempo, auto stop, so I can stop the song at the end, and alternate takes, so if it's actually in record mode. Yeah, we're in all that. So, I disabled record on the tablet. The button was there. I programmed it, but I thought, well, just in case I accidentally hit it, because there's no feedback at the moment coming back, and I believe there is a way of doing it. But the nice thing is, I noticed that this particular plugin I'm using for the Midi was meant to be written in Java. Well, I've written 60 modules in Voltage Modular, which is all written in Java. So hopefully I can take my Midi side of that and probably apply it to that, so we can actually get feedback. Just like we got feedback here, we should be able to get feedback turning these on and off and actually have some colour lights. So if I was to actually hit record now, you can see on the screen we're doing alternate takes. Obviously there's, need to put some Midi in and it'll actually stay there. So let's do a stop there. So that's what we can do. So, you know, that sort of stuff set up. So, and obviously in the control mode, I can actually control the actual synthesizer itself. So, where are we? We want the rack. Come on, bring up the rack. Thank you. So now we're in control mode. If I was to make sure number 1 selected, I should be able to control that one there. He says, yeah, there you go. And as you can see, I'm actually controlling that. So that's quite nice. So these faders are equivalent of the 8 encoders. I know it's not all fitting on the screen. They've got 8 encoders there. And obviously these buttons are actually representing all of these buttons here. So I can turn things on and off and it's reflecting on the APC. So it was a tick. It was a big tick. But at the same time as saying that, I've been playing around with some of the basic controls. So we've got things like here, we've got a basic zoom, flip the rack and all that kind of thing. Yeah, I can actually see me using this for this kind of thing. Obviously the big sort of thing these are used for, things like for OBS, and I could see me sort of using this sort of thing because, hey, here's my hand, and obviously I can turn off the green screen or turn it on, or even turn that camera off altogether. So yeah, I can actually definitely see me wanting to use this rather than me having to reach over, especially when I've got the camera on and I've got my green screen on. I'm not going to put my hands and my arms or anything else in the way. I can see it being quite useful from that point of view. Anyway, I wanted to keep this short, so hopefully you've got something out of it. As I say, I'm not knocking the Stream Deck at all. I have obviously opted to go down more of the touch portal route, and I may change my mind again a little bit later down the road. I might even say, well, I'm using this so much, maybe I will actually go and get myself a Stream Deck or something. So, if you're in mind of saying that at one point you might buy yourself a Stream Deck, then it's probably worth going down the mobile route, because once you've got everything set up in the mobile route, there's nothing stopping you obviously taking that work and pushing it onto your actual Stream Deck for real. So it just leaves me saying, oh, actually, I've got this little test page which I've been messing around with. Obviously, this is Touch Portal. So I say we got on release and we got on that on press. So at the moment, if I say push this button and say nothing happens until I release it, and you can see it sort of popping in and out, or this one here might be easier to see on the screen. But I've got this one here, I'm playing around with the on hold stuff, so as soon as I touch it, it's doing something. So I could probably do something, and this is just one of the faders I'm just playing around with. I was just looking to see how small, you know, you can get 15 by 7, which comes out, well, I don't know, 105 or whatever it comes out at, buttons on the screen. Without a doubt, these buttons for me personally are way too small, so that won't actually work for me. It's a shame it's only 15 buttons and not 16, because obviously if it is 16 buttons, then we could maybe have done something with some of the sequences. I can imagine doing stuff with redrum here and putting up all the redrum lanes in one go, which is something I have played around with on other control surfaces. Actually on my Earae, that's my MPE controller, I was playing around doing stuff with that on there, so I'll show that off one day. But yeah, so okay, I am waffling now. I am quite excited about this stuff, and once I get things really sort of up and running, I'll probably do another video and share my scripts or something. I'll see how I can export this stuff out. Anyway, thank you for watching, and bye for now.